You got to feed the content machine.
Yo, if you like did the clips you do
Mm-hmm.
and then put Subway Surfers underneath it, we would do fucking numbers. Have you ever thought about that? We do numbers.
I have thought about doing the A/B test on it, maybe on the next one.
I don't know what that means.
It's a marketing test, or it's a marketing term for when you're running the same thing, but just with like minor changes, and then seeing, okay, what works, what doesn't. If you're running like a big marketing campaign, like Nike will run a Facebook ad campaign with like 30 versions. You can put it there if you want. Does that reach? Or here, let me move the table.
I don't think you can move the table far enough for me to be, because like it's more of a my arm length. It's more of a build issue. Thanks for pointing that out on the pod. That's awesome. Thank you.
My bad.
For my tiny T-Rex arms. No, don't you? Don't cut this. We've done so much work already. How could we start after this?
Speaking of which, welcome to the C Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm Connor.
See, out of the way early. Everybody knows we're all good. We're going to start off with a quick recap of 4 important events that I think happened on Collision on November 15th. We're going to start off with Lexi Nair talking to the timeless love bombs. Good God. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times before, but Tony is probably one of the best on mic right now and potentially all time, easily.
And especially because so great on mic, like doing this very specific gimmick where I'm sure if you gave her anything, she would go and kill it. So it's very funny how it's so good. Like, it hasn't gotten stale. Like, that's the things. And like, no matter who it is, eventually it gets, well, not yet for Timeless, man.
Not yet for Timeless. I mean,
it's almost timeless.
Speaking of killing, 5 women made me watch a mugging, a massacre, a murder. You can do what you like to me. When you touch the woman that I love, a woman who brings color to a world that is black and white, you gain admission. A cinema verite that stars 5 slop tart shitasses and 2 horror show whores that have a lust for vengeance who will love bomb the crap out of you. Are you familiar with the genre of cinema verite?
No.
Okay. So it's a genre, it's a movement. It's based off of this Russian theorist Zyga Vertov. I love Zyga Vertov. He came up with his first name Zyga, because that was the sound that the reel made when you were wrapping it up. Zyga, 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 Zyga. Yeah, he's awesome. Man with a movie camera, incredible stuff. But Vertov had a series of films called Kino Pravda, which literally mean truthful cinema. Wikipedia. In the Kino Pravda series, Vertov focused on everyday experiences, eschewing bourgeois concerns, and filming marketplaces, bars, and schools instead, sometimes with a hidden camera, without asking first. Some examples especially from the early cinema verite genre, include Primary, Robert Drew covering JFK's Wisconsin primary, and High School, which is Frederick Wiseman capturing Northeast High School in the late 60s, Northeast Philadelphia High School. Incredible. Amazing documentary. And then also The Decline of Western Civilization is probably one of the greatest music documentaries ever made. Some other standouts include Salesman, Harlan County, USA, Titty Cut Follies, all landmarks of the genre. Titty Cut Follies helped change how mental health care institutions work and gave dignity to those who were deprived of it. The Florida Project is a glorious fictional riff on the idea of the genre and techniques utilized. So I think this is going to play into the stipulation that we're going to talk about soon. Are we going to see something unique from Tony and Mina? But they say anytime, any place, the show must go on. Don't ask God for mercy. He's a big fan of our work.
Again, so fantastic. Since she doesn't listen to this, we need to look over some Tony Storm merch together to get my wife for Christmas. I would like your opinion on the best Tony stuff to get.
Thumbs up, easy peasy. If you hit me up on the Instagram DM, I'll send you C-Show stickers as stocking stuffers if you're listening.
Hell yeah.
But again, Tony Storm, one of my favorites. I already have the Time After Time Tony shirt, which I love. I wear it every time there's an AEW pay-per-view. It's my AEW pay-per-view shirt. I love it. But I'm really excited to see where Tony and Mina go with this. They've already started playing off of each other so well, both in and out of the ring. Mina adopting the ring look of Tony. Tony doing some more stuff in the ring and putting herself out there for Mina. The next match that I wanted to talk about was Kyle Fletcher versus Scorpio Sky with Christopher Daniels and Skyflight, Darius and Dante Martin. An impressive title defense by Kyle Fletcher here as he goes into full gear. We see a little bit more of Scorpio Sky over the weekend, but did you have any moves of the match here?
Just a couple things that were funny. Starts with Scorpio trying to shake Kyle Fletcher's hand. He kicks it away. Mm-hmm. Sky, in response, steals Fletcher's jacket that he comes in, his fancy jacket. And then there's a point where Scorpio fakes an ankle injury just to try and get a sneaky roll up. And I just loved it because, like, I love Scorpio, big Scorpio Sky guy. Mm-hmm. So I just loved every second of it. And again, sort of tangent, I love how AEW will be like, all right, championship's on the line here. Mm-hmm. If he loses, we won't do this match. We've been hyped. Like, right, they'll play the bit of, if he loses, right, the match against Mark Briscoe at the pay-per-view is off. Like, they'll say that even though it's like, yeah, okay. And I would love to know what happens if, like, say Scorpio Sky wins. It's like, all right, you have a no disqualification match against Mark Briscoe, Scorpio Sky, and I guess he'll still join the Don Callis family if you win. Like, just the fact that they put it out there, like, oh, it's a possibility. Who knows? Anything could happen. I love that.
Do the Martin brothers have to join the Callis family? Does Skyflight have to join the Callis family then? It adds so many questions. It asks so many questions. My move of the match, though, was the leaping Michinoku driver by Fletcher. Fletcher then hits a brainbuster on the pin to win 1-2-3. Mark Davis of the Callis family attacks Scorpio Sky, but Fletcher and the Martin brothers are here. Mark Davis attacks Scorpio Sky, but Daniels and the Martin brothers are here to help. Briscoe gets up on the mic. The next time you shine up Daddy Don's head, make sure you polish my title. Fletcher responds, that was the 8th defense. He will be the greatest after the 9th. Potentially. In the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament, we've got Alex Windsor and Riho versus Maya World and Hyan. I really wanted to talk about this match because I wanted to make sure that we covered it in the lead up to Full Gear. We have the 4-corner match, but also I want to say every time I type out Rio, I get confused because I think I'm typing out Ohio, and I'm misspelling Ohio myself. Google Docs, we have the same problem. I wouldn't say I have a move of the match. This is a really phenomenal performance by Windsor and Rio, again, proving why they deserve to be in this tournament, and hopefully to see more of them in the future. But really, the ending here is the part that I wanted to talk about. Was there anything you wanted to shout out from Rio, Windsor, Maya World, and Hyan?
It was a rough start to the match. There were a couple things that didn't look super clean. Like Ryan McMahon would be like, oh, botch this. But again, like, who knows, whatever, stuff happens. Like, yeah. Guess what? If it were real, not everything works every time anyway.
It's a live show. Like, that's part of the beauty of it, is the
only one I will directly call out is there was a time that it looked like that Windsor and Rio were like setting up to like tabletop. Mm-hmm. I think it was Maya, mm-hmm. and just missed timed it, just like missed the tabletop. That's the only, because like that's hilarious. Like, I don't care what I think. I just thought that was very funny, and then they just kind of kept rolling through it. But no, the finish really just caps this.
Maya World gets the German suplex on Windsor after knocking Rio to the mat. Rio attempts the German, gets a Snapdragon. Windsor hits Maya with Rio on her back. Rio rolls her up for the pin, 1-2-3. And on the Tron are Tony and Mina. Tony apologizes in advance. We are lovers during a dangerous time. We are on a rocky road to avenge, and no woman can stop us. Immediately after, we've got Kyle O'Reilly, post Blood and Guts. But did you have anything you wanted to add there about the ending of the match?
No, I thought it was actually pretty sick, like Rio being in the crucifix and then just a huge freaking lariat from Windsor.
Yeah.
I love Tony coming on the Tron just to kind of continues. They've done a really good job playing this up. It's hard in tournaments sometimes because it's like, oh, you'll see who you fade, like all that. So to like be able to, they're putting in work to be like, no, like all these matches, all these semifinals are going to mean something. We're going to start stoking some fires.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll talk about it later when we get to Dynamite and Collision, but Statlander talks about watching tape on Mercedes Moné, right? And how that plays in later at Full Gear, doing lots of promo stuff for our own here. We're doing a good job here. But immediately after Tony and Mina are on the Tron, we've got Kyle O'Reilly post Blood and Guts. Kyle says he was almost paralyzed by Mox. Like a petulant child, Mox punches out a referee and compares Moxley to a shark. You know, he's violent, he's aggressive, but a shark's easy to defeat. John's reaction, do you think that was funny? Mox is taunted by the crowd's "you tapped out" chants, even the fans at ringside. On the mic, Mox calls out the conglomeration anytime, any place to Kyle O'Reilly. It says one last thing to Tony Schiavone, which we don't hear. We don't hear him say what he says to Tony Schiavone. So will that come into play later? Was that Tony Schiavone? Or was it Hangman in the disguise?
In the Phantom of the Opera?
In the Phantom of the Opera mask. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, there's a great trios match with La Facción and Gorbernal, Rush and Sammy Guevara. Sorry, it's a tag team match. So La Facción Ingobernable, and FTR versus Juice Robinson, Jet Speed, and Bandito. It's pretty fun to watch, but listen, we're going to get right into it. We've got a packed show. We're talking AEW Dynamite and Collision to go home before Full Gear. We're talking about Full Gear, which has some interesting implications to the AEW world. We've got more for you here on The C Show. Welcome back to the C Show. We're here. We're talking about AEW Dynamite and Collision on the 19th. So just again, they do the first 2 hours of Dynamite, and then it's an hour of Collision. It's an hour of Collision afterwards. And then the second hour of Collision is the Tailgate Brawl. So the pre-show for Full Gear, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Our first match is a number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet. It's Ricochet versus Bobby Lashley with MVP. Ricochet definitely says backdoor dickhead when he gets off the bus, but he gets on the mic first, and he says, first things first. Ricochet says, fly, Eagles, fly.
Since I found out that Ricochet is an Eagles fan, the Eagles lost to the Cowboys, so only bad things have happened. God damn you, Ricochet.
I'm sorry.
You better be treating my wife's wife right.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
When he grabbed the mic, though, he did also call Bobby Lashley a big bald idiot.
And another thing is Ricochet keeps babbling before Bobby Lashley picks him up and tosses him out of the ring.
Did you hear Ricochet yell when he did that?
What did he yell?
You hear Ricochet yelling, "Bobby, let go!"
As much as Ricochet tries here, and as much as the demand, Bishop Khan, Toa Loiona, they're both sent over the barricades as well. MVP is going nuts. Ricochet gets rolled up. Even though after a series of aerial assaults, it's two spears back to back by Lashley, and it's over 1, 2, 3, pin to win. The ops are in front of camera here. Your world of happiness is going to get very different very, very quickly. Samoa Joe warns, your punishment begins tonight. Deadly by design, violent by intent. Come Full Gear, I will collect in full. Paquette approaches the Young Bucks, who are reminiscing. Again, the question, are they joining the Callis family? Callis interrupts and handles the situation. And we'll give those rubes an answer right after the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander versus Skyflight.
Did you hear? So again, so they're in the back,
Mhm.
and then Don Callis like, oh, we'll talk after the match.
Mhm.
As they're walking out and their theme song starts to play, you can hear her say, "You need to take the mic." Talking to Don Callis through their like still in the back. They left the mic live, and she's like, you can hear her be like, "You need to take the mic," like trying to be like, "Please, dude, like you need to take this." It was so I backed it up once. I'm like, did I hear that?
Of course, Callis joins us on commentary here as the Bucks and Josh Alexander face Skyflight. My move of the match is an incredible team DDT move by Skyflight, Top Flight. And then Matt Jackson having Darius Martin in the tombstone before Nick comes in with a flying move. What was your move of the match here?
Oh, for me, it was Scorpio Sky launches Matt Jackson over the ropes, belly to belly style, just tosses him. That was awesome.
After my moves of the match, the Bucks do defense while Alexander puts Darius in a submission hold and he taps out. And again, the question is, will the Bucks join the family? Callis points out all the things he's tempted them with: the limos, the private jets, the ring intros, etc. Would hate to see what happened. See what happened to Kenny Omega happen to you. By God, it's Kenny Omega. He's got a chair. The Bucks hold Omega back from beating Alexander, and Alexander takes his chance. Callis demanding the BTE trigger to Omega, a gang initiation. Fortunately, Jurassic Express stream in. Whoa.
What did they bring down to the ring with them?
A snow shovel.
And
a vacuum cleaner.
And a vacuum cleaner.
A vacuum cleaner.
Like, that's really like, oh my God, my boy's in trouble. What is in front of me?
What is in front of me?
Like, no thoughts. What can I take and beat some ass? I got a snow shovel. I got a vacuum. Well, we're out of time. We're going to save Kenny.
Speaking of saving Kenny Omega, what's at the movies right now? Have you seen anything good at the movies at AMC?
The last thing I saw was Frankenstein, like I mentioned before, that I really loved.
Sorry, I'm putting on Do Not Disturb. But if you aren't familiar with what's at the movies right now, we've got Wicked for Good. Did you see the first one?
I did. Lyd and I saw it as a double date, and we are going to go see the second part.
Are you excited?
I've been hearing not awesome things. I've been hearing mixed things, but not awesome things. But you know I'm going.
I can't wait for the documentary. 10 years from now. What happened there? Speaking of things that we're probably not going to see, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. It is not a John Cena documentary. It is the third film in the Now You See Me series. Did you see them? Who knows? And then in case you want to see what they actually used to do to Nazis back in the day, you can also go see Nuremberg. But coming soon, finally, Avatar 3. Can you believe that Avatar 3 is actually happening? I didn't even see Avatar 2 yet.
I think I saw that.
The 20th anniversary of Wedding Crashers? A light turned on in your eyes.
I was going to say, because I was thinking of Wedding Crashers, but I do want to see why it's still in theaters. I want to make sure I see Predator Badlands. I've heard good things. I would love to go see Predator Badlands.
Yeah, we need to see Predator Badlands. And then also, coming up for the holidays, take your younger family members to go see the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, or things Steven Hillenburg would hate to see. But things we don't hate to see is you getting a deal and benefiting your favorite podcast. Use this deal directly to support the show. Visit linktr.ee/cshowpod or click on the link in the description. Probably way easier to access this deal on behalf of your friends at the C Show. T's and C's apply. Please make sure to read the fine print. Speaking of things that are fun, that are bodacious, Renee Paquette talks with the Babes of Wrath, and I've got nothing. Were you laughing at the segue, or?
Yeah, I was laughing at the use of bodacious.
Bodacious.
It's like, of course, you're about to talk about Willow Nightingale, and you use the word bodacious. Little freak.
Okay. And moving on here. Speaking of little freaks, the number 2 spot at the Casino Gauntlet, Shelton Benjamin versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Again, I just learned this, and this is an info hazard. Speedball is from Montreal. So many things make sense now. The mullet, the flips, the no shoes. My favorite part of the match, potentially of the weekend, is MVP yelling at Shelton. MVP is on commentary, and MVP goes, Shelton, stop playing with your food.
I did peep that.
It's Thanksgiving, you know. People are going to be listening to this on their Thanksgiving drive home, you know, avoiding their family members, you know. You can play with your food. It's okay.
Whatever takes you away from that table. For me, I had two things I really liked, and one's the finish that I want to talk about a little bit more.
We will definitely talk about the finish.
But for me, it was when they had a really nice sequence where Speedball was hitting a couple different pin combinations that they kept rolling through, and then when he ended up in that arm bar, super smooth transition. Like I love Speedball Mike Bailey. I will continue to stand up and be like, Speedball's my fucking guy.
Speedball is the man. He's so fluid, so fast. An aerial danger. An aerial danger for sure. Again, the whole no shoes thing is a little weird for me. Shout out to the
Oh, but when Mina does it, you can't take your eyes off the screen. Okay, I see you.
I didn't notice that.
You lying. We talked about it in the last pod, you lying piece of shit.
Did I? Did we?
We did, because we talked about her stomping in the glass in her bare feet and then stomping on.
Marina Shafir.
Oh, I said Mina, didn't I?
You said Mina.
Oh, yeah, Marina Shafir, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that also irks me, too. That also irks me. Don't get me wrong. Because she takes her shoes off. She has the shoes on. Speedball has the shoes off the entire time.
Speedball might not own shoes.
He owns, dude. He was walking around.
Think about how fast you get through security when you just show up with no. Actually, you probably get a second screening. It probably takes a little longer.
He makes those GoPro vlogs, and he was running around Philly when they had their residency. Do you think he was not wearing shoes on the L?
Who knows?
Yep.
That's the mystique. That's kayfabe, baby.
That's the kayfabe, baby. Bailey is there with the super kick for Benjamin and a shooting star press, but Benjamin still kicks out. A big super kick by Benjamin, pin 1-2. But was Bailey's shoulder up? MVP enters the ring. A referee, Paul Turner, called it 2. A suplex by Benjamin, a knee strike. Bailey down after the super kick. Pin 1-2-3. That's the end of the match. But was it?
So, and again, if I were better at my job, I'll tell you who I read it from. But apparently it was just something that kind of happened on the fly with that first super kick that Bailey didn't kick out of. So that wasn't the planned finish. But with that super kick, Speedball did like a whole flip bump where he took it. And Shelton Benjamin was like, oh, that was so awesome. How can that not be the end of the match? So he basically tried to call it on the fly and be like, that's the finish. That's the finish. Speedball hurt him, so he didn't kick out. The ref didn't, and because he's like, oh, he thinks Speedball forgot, so he's trying to cover for him. And that's where he's like, no, it's up. So then they went through with the finish of the match, the knee, and the second super kick as the actual finish. So like, there's no one's like, oh, botch. Like again, like Speedball did a great sell. Shelton's like, that was awesome. Like that should be the end. Again, like it's a live show, and again, if you're upset about that, you're a loser.
It didn't look unnatural to me. It just looked like, oh, maybe like they missed something. Not a big deal. Loved it. And it really all plays into Full Gear. We'll get to the Casino Gauntlet match. But now we're talking about the Death Riders, Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. A rematch of sorts from Blood and Guts. Okay, get everything you have out of the way now, because I have that bit that I told you about that I've got cooking.
Oh man, you act like I remember.
We act like we remember a lot of things.
True. Do you no? I just want you to rip it. Just go for it.
Oh, O'Reilly, ankle lock. See, it's the ankle lock part, because if you just go O'Reilly, whatever, that's the jingle.
Like if you just said the jingle, it wouldn't really be a joke.
But it's the ankle lock
because it fits.
Ow! I loved it. I love this feud. I love where it's just like Kyle O'Reilly being like, "You suck. I've made you tap out now twice. I'm gonna make you tap out again, and it starts out. It starts out strong with Cassie striking Mox and taking it out of the ring, and Roderick and Cassidy only going in the middle, and the crowd just taunting Mox with "you tapped out." Orange Cassidy DDT off the top rope while Garcia and Shafir look on. Orange punch for Garcia and Mox, and then the brace comes off. I love also the Scooby-Doo chase around the ring in Claudio with the uppercut. We'll always love a Scooby-Doo chase around there. But yeah, and then we get into the finish.
Well, hold on. Before that, I want to talk about my move.
Yeah, no, please. I let you go first.
I get it, but just like I wanted to, because I thought you had something else first because he doesn't come out till after, so it's unimportant. So all I want to call out is that Orange Cassidy does this crossbody that Claudio catches because he is again just a humongous human being, and he rolls through like he's going to do the Mark Henry spot, like catching the crossbody, rolling overhead, picking him up, and then doing some move.
Yeah,
but out of getting picked up, Orange Cassidy hits the Stun Dog Millionaire, which I just wasn't expecting. That's why I really liked it. I'm like, hey. That surprised me. I thought you were just going to get dumped on your head, which also would have been awesome, but I was not ready for the Stun Dog Millionaire.
Cassidy is somebody who I was like, literally like whatever beforehand. I was like, the whole gimmick is that he doesn't care. And then after, have you listened to the interview that he did on Katie Nolan's podcast, Casuals?
Oh no, I didn't know he did.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And the recommendation is watch Orange Cassidy if you don't watch wrestling. Agreed. Don't start with blood and guts, but like most Orange Cassidy matches are pretty good. But as O'Reilly gets into the ankle lock, Mox taps out. Yuta kicks Kyle O'Reilly, but Kyle won't let go. The refs plead with Kyle. He releases and then puts Mox into the ankle lock again. Break his fucking ankle, Kyle. Kyle gets on the mic. I want to fight you. I want to fight you, John, at Full Gear. Since you've given me a taste for blood, I want no holds barred. Just like Blood and Guts, the history books will show you tapped out.
Only other thing I'll point out about that is like he's got Mox in the ankle lock, and like Orange Cassidy's in the ring kind of playing defense, and you see all the Death Riders outside like, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to get him out of this? They throw Yuta into the ring to get stomped out, and that's their distraction to get Mox out.
That's what Yuta's good for. He's the pincushion. He is the pincushion. Backstage, Brodito call out FTR. Brodito won't take anything after FTR attacked Legends, Ricky Steamboat, and family, both Bandito's brother and Abuelita. FTR are one of the greatest teams to do it, but Brodito will retain. Brodito never stops fighting. Elsewhere, Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express have words for the Callis family. Money can't buy friendship. The Bucks have proven that. Once you broke Ibushi's leg and assaulted Nakazawa, you made it personal. Get a good night's rest. Count your dollar bills. Your time is coming. Goodbye and good night. Bang. There's $1 million on the line.
I'm glad Kenny's back. I did not get to watch a lot of Kenny in the past, and just what I've seen him already, like, no wonder people talk about you like they do. God damn.
The stuff that he does in Japan is insane.
I've heard.
I've been seeing clips of it, and I'm like, I might go all in on New Japan. I don't, I might just go all in. Who knows? New Jersey Pro Wrestling, my favorite. Speaking of my favorites, we've got an AEW Women's Tag Team Championship match. We've got the timeless love bombs of Mina Shirakawa, who wears boots, and Toni Storm versus Alex Windsor and Rio. Toni and Mina are just having fun. This is a blockbuster match. Seriously. Windsor using Rio as the battering ram, Storm backbreaker on Rio, Windsor and Rio with the team suplex on Storm, Rio crossbody. Connor, what do you got?
Other than what you mentioned, for me, it's when Mina does a back fist and then locks Rio in the figure four, but Rio like turns over the pressure, and then both Toni Storm and Windsor get in and like keep turning the figure 4 back over to like reverse the pressure. Fantastic spot. Loved everything about it. And then last thing before the finish here is like, so after that, Tony and Windsor are going back and forth, right? They take turns kind of flipping the hold, going at each other, and they both go to deliver a headbutt at the same time. Fantastic. Cinema.
Absolute cinema. Right after that is a double hip attack by the Love Bombs. Storm Zero on Alex Windsor. It's a 1-2-3 pin to win by the Timeless Love Bombs. Good sportsmanship all around, though. Paquette announces that as the Timeless Love Bombs advance, per Tony Khan, all 4 semifinalists will meet in a, quote, 4 corners tag team match. The winner of that match will pick the stipulation, again, the match type, in the semifinal round. So, as we mentioned at the top of the show in the cold open, who the winner of that 4 corners match gets to decide what kind of match it's going to be. Will Tony and Mino win? Who knows? Stay tuned. We'll talk about it. We'll keep talking about it here. Speaking of keeping talking about it, Alicia Atout is backstage with Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher is 3-2 over Briscoe. We'll have most defenses of the TNT title on Saturday. You will thank us when you join the family. Briscoe says, don't talk to me about my family or my road family, the conglomeration. Failure is not an option. He's going to make his family proud, but then Okada and Hechicero attack. Alicia had commended Fletcher and Briscoe for agreeing not to be violent. Callis is going to make Briscoe's kids, all 12 of them, orphans. Fletcher thanks Okada for agreeing to no physicality. Okada could be here. Takeshita couldn't make it. Proto-Okada, Okada says as he walks away. I love Okada and the Proto-Okada thing that he's like teasing Fletcher with. I think there will be, now that Fletcher doesn't have the belt, there will be a tremendous fall for Fletcher. Fall from grace. A fallen angel, perhaps.
Yeah, I assume there's going to be a whole thing now that he doesn't have a championship. Okada does, right? Who's the leader? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure they'll do a classic power struggle, which again is going to be very good.
In a pre-recorded promo, Pac owes Darby Allin an apology. I promised I would break your neck. In reality, that didn't happen. I sent your body to the burn unit. At Blood and Guts, perhaps I took things too far. If you still have a backbone, do me a favor and answer my question. Truth is, once you are stripped of your bells and whistles, no way someone like yourself can compete at the same level as an athlete like me.
Very interesting thing to say with how we'll talk about the match later.
I thought you were going to mention Pac's training regimen. all the swordfish and broccoli, brother.
The Rock said cod's great.
Cod's delicious, brother. Oh, yeah. Like, is he on that work? Is he on that stuff? Like,
maybe.
I like, if anything, dude, just be safe. Like, that's all we ask. That's all we ask. Speaking of being safe, things we're not going to do. Katsuyori Shibata versus Hangman Adam Page. Samoa Joe comes out first to join commentary. Oh. And warns Schiavone, don't you move a muscle, Tony Schiavone. You little piggy, don't move. Joe reminds them, I didn't come here to be violent, Brian. The match starts, bam. Hangman attacks from the stands and throws Shibata into the barricade and then over Timekeeper. Really challenging Joe because if Joe gets involved, he's stripped of his title chance at Full Gear on Saturday. The one last thing that I want to mention is Samoa Joe is an artist on commentary. He says Shibata is an artist. He is painting in violence.
Joe has always been great on commentary,
Joe's
man.
The best.
The best. Like, there's rumors that Joe will hang it up after this AEW contract. Like, if they do not immediately put him on the commentary desk,
yeah,
that's egregious.
It's egregious. He would kill in like Ring of Honor. He would be a perfect voice for like Ring of Honor because I mean he was there for such a long time. It's not me just going like, oh, make him Kith, but I just feel like branding wise that would be really cool. What's your move of the match here? Mine's the finale here. So
Mine's also the finale. The only other thing I want to call out is when Hangman missed the buckshot lariat and then catches a low blow. It's a good old-fashioned uppercut to the nards and then gets put into an armbar, which I just thought was very funny.
Yeah. Speaking of a troublesome situation, Shibata has Hangman in the submission hold, but he gets his boots up on the rope. Shibata has Hangman in the ankle lock, but Hangman gets on the ropes, literally slides out of his boot, flips over the rope, hits the lariat to pin to win. 1, 2, 3. It's Hangman. Play the music. Ring the bell. As Hangman and the Samoan face off, the crowd echoes, "Cowboy shit, cowboy shit, cowboy shit." Joe, you are now alone. I sent Hobbs to the hospital. I sent Shibata to the fucking morgue. Remember the last time I was locked in a steel cage with another man, Swerve Strickland. If I have to do it again, I swear to God, I will. Now, I sent you the playlist. I'm gonna start working on figuring out how to. I'll put it out with the podcast somehow. If you go on cagematch.net, you can look up the matches in that rivalry, and one of them between Hangman and Swerve Strickland is a steel cage match for the AEW Men's World Title that includes spots on cinder blocks, throwing them, power bombs on them. It's really intense. It cemented Hangman really and put him as one of the faces of the company. Swerve is phenomenal as well. I saw him face Samoa Joe actually at Dynasty earlier this year. An incredible matchup. But there's a lot going on here. We're going to see what happens at Full Gear after Hangman wins. The switch over from Dynamite to Collision happens at the end of the Hangman and Shibata match, and it's really cool to watch the ring crew work in real time to flip the ring to Collision branding, because they do have the traditional cloth aprons. They do use the barricade covers and all of that, so they've got the bike racks. That's what Mick Foley called them, at least, those steel barricades. So very cool to watch that in real time. Was there anything you had about Shibata, Hangman, Samoa Joe, steel cages?
No, it was a great setup for their match. So I thought it was really well done. They did a good job building this, and I feel like we got a really good payoff at the end as well.
Speaking of things that may or may not pay off, Stoke speaks for FTR, but Dax doesn't really look like he wants Big Stoke talking. Lock your family away. Lock Steamboat away, Stoke warns. Dax hits the 6-7 once again. 6-7. On YouTube, I have to put this content is not made for kids. It's not recommended for kids. And then I do 6-7. FTR have been the tag team champs across 7 different promotions. They'll be champs again. Bandito, Havuela, come say hello. Speaking of tag team championships, we've got another quarterfinal match. Tay J, Anna J, and Tay Mello versus Marina Shafir and Megan Bain with Penelope Ford. I love Marina Shafir's music. With that Death Fighters intro, which again is the Wendy Carlos riff from The Shining. And then it's just I don't know what it is, but it's Little John club music, 2007. It makes me want to tear off the button-up shirt my mom bought for me at Kohl's at a middle school dance.
I was going to say, what were you doing in 2007?
In 2007, I was in the gym at Washington Irving Middle School one time trying to dance. Not a good time, folks. Not a great time for a little old Charlie. I kind of still sounded like this.
Trying to grind on a young female.
No, Lord, no. Lord, no. Oh my God. Oh no, that took a few more years. I'm still scared of women, especially women like Marina Shafir. As even though that TJ starts strong, including the double snap suplex. Yeah, my move of the match is the TJ double snap suplex. I'm gonna just cut that out. What's your move of the match?
Yeah, they do a double DDT as well, and both hold on to keep like a choke after the DDT.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. To be honest, I was a little underwhelmed by the finish. I didn't love it. I thought they could have done a little more.
The mother's milk. I don't get how that's a submission hold.
It's supposed to be like smothering. It's like a different kind of choke.
Don't yuck my yum, buddy. Don't yuck my yum. I'll just say that. But I don't get it. We could do something better, I feel like. But my favorite part is Penelope Ford hopping hopelessly outside the ring, like she's going to be able to do anything other than just stand there. Shafir tags in, takedown, mother's milk, ref calls for it, the win. Marina and Megan move on. Tony and Mina are now on the Tron. Well, isn't this our bloody luck? We'll be wearing your skulls as pearl necklace. Tony and Mina will get to pick the stipulation. It could be a chicken coop match, an apartment wrestling, Taipei death match. John Moxley, when you see what we do with your little women, you will piss blood.
I loved how they opened it because Tony opened it by saying we pitched our show to God and he got the whole box set.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Always cooking.
Oh, gosh. Incredible. In a pre-taped promo, Statlander reminds Mercedes Moné to focus on me. Oh, you got the whole spectrum there with that burp. The Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson, have words to say. They've got no better way to start off a pay-per-view. Jesus, I got lost in my notes. Fucking hell.
Look, we can simply just call this whole part just financial advice with the Bang Bang Gang.
It really is. Staring at $200,000, $200,000 hairs. They're going to fill up their 401k. They're going to create a taxable brokerage account. They're going to get $200,000. Guns up, baby. In a double Jeopardy match, Kazuchika Okada and Mascara Dorada face off. The way how a double Jeopardy match works is that the winner gets a chance to compete for the other's title. So think of this as a number one contenders match for each other's title, essentially. So my move of the match is the cutter over the barricade by Dorada and then the Hurricane Rana. Again, Mascara Dorada is phenomenal. We love Lucha Libre here. We love Luchador and Mascarado. And Dorada is one of the best. Clear to see why he is the Golden Mask. What about you, Connor? What are your moves of the match?
For me, it was Dorado's 450 splash. And then where he went for, it looked like he was trying to do a Hurricane Rana or something of that sort, but just gets absolutely dumped on his head by Okada.
Yeah, right after that 450 splash, Okada comes in off the top rope. Dorada rolls him through, though. And another drop kick, power bomb, and then a Rainmaker, and it's over. 1-2-3 pin, win by Okada. The Callis family now get a shot at the CMLL Trios title. Callis is excited. Earlier in the match on commentary, he wants to continue his international expansion. He's already conquered Japan. He wants to expand to Mexico. Callis gets on the mic now and announces his challenge to Hechicero, announces his challenge with Hechicero to fight Sky Team Saturday before Full Gear. Okada, Hechicero, and Konosuke Takeshita. Okada looks displeased. The Renee Paquette and the Sisters of Sin are backstage. The Sisters of Sin do their thing. Wrath, pride. I smiled in blood because nothing will work. Your third sin is us. Thekla comes in and warns about the sick, twisted shit they'll come up with after Full Gear. Thekla kind of feels like an older lady you meet at a bar with your friends, and she's just like, let's get crazy, let's get wild. And then you and your friends have to like come up with like a very elaborate ruse to ditch her somewhere at a bar because you're like, this woman we're going to go on a 4-day bender if we spend any more time with this person. That's just me? Okay.
Gonna sidestep that one, and I'm just say at the very end, as Thekla was saying, or partially in says, you don't know how toxic we can get. I think we might know.
Oh, I think we might know. We might know. In our main event for Dynamite and Collision, a combined event, we've got the interim Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship, Red Velvet versus Mercedes Moné.
Title unification belt. Red Velvet got hurt. That's why Mercedes won the interim title. So this is to make him kiss, as they say.
Statlander joins commentary. There's a big pop from Moné when they say Boston in her intro. Really interesting note here. Red Velvet's father and uncle were both boxers, Prudencio and Ricardo Cardona. Prudencio was a flyweight, 63 total fights, 39 wins, 27 by KO, 23 losses, 1 draw. Prudencio was a flyweight, I said. Ricardo was a super bantamweight, 37 fights, 26 wins, 13 by KO, 10 losses, 1 draw. Pretty impressive. Statlander plays great off of the I Drink promo, saying Mercedes needs to focus in preparation for their match on Sunday. And again, this is where Statlander talks about getting so much tape to watch Moné. I kind of wanted to pick your brain about that. You are literally somebody, you've come over to my house and you have watched film in my apartment. So I kind of wanted to get your perspective on that. What was your reaction to that when Statlander was talking about watching tape on Moné?
There's good things and there's bad things because, especially like when you look at this, like, oh, she's won, was it for Moné 14 championships right now?
13.
And it's like, well, okay, if you look up and down the promotions, right, there's levels to this, right? You'll get film of teams where it's like, all right, they beat this random team from the middle of nowhere. It was 56-0 and it was 35 after the first quarter. Yeah, that's film. Does that tell you anything? They're not going to do anything, right? It doesn't make them show anything. So, and you can get yourself in a bind sometimes being like, well, let me watch everything just to be sure. But there's only so much time in a week, right? So it's, are you watching the right things when things were competitive? You can still find go-tos and you can more check patterns against it. But it's harder when you have a lot of film.
Yeah.
Like when you get to the end of a year and it's like, all right, this team has played 13 games and they're 13-0. Let's try and figure out anything that anyone has done well against them like that. But you have to focus on the ones, well, who played them close? Which ones they almost lose? What was the close call?
Are you looking at a box score beforehand to determine what tape you're going to watch, even like specific parts of a game?
Yes and no. Whenever we tag them, we always put the scores on there just so you can always kind of keep a reference of it, right? And then also if you're watching, like, hey, this is a different quarterback. Oh, it's the JV team because it's 35-0. Like, you just kind of see that. But no, like, there's always definitely a consideration to, like, hey, they were in this game until the fourth quarter versus a game where it's like they were up 35 at halftime. It's like, all right, maybe, like, you still watch that to just check and make sure and, cross your T's and dot your I's, but, like, you're definitely not devoting a lot of your time to the second half of a blowout.
That makes a lot of sense. This is an incredible match, and Statlander gets a lot here. My move of the match is Velvet countering the head scissors, but that doesn't play out so well for her. Do you have a move of the match?
For me, it's that at one point they have the titles and they do like the Eddie Guerrero, like she Red Velvet throws the title to try and make it look like she got hit with the title, and Moné just like gets rid of it. She's like, well, I'm already down here, so Red Velvet decides to try and roll her up. Like, so the Eddie Guerrero spot plus a new piece of it is very nice.
And we get plenty of Eddie homages from Moné over the weekend. But after my move of the match, off the top rope, tombstone into a lung breaker by Moné, pin to win, 1-2-3. Statlander is not impressed, and Moné attacks Statlander, hits her with the crossface on the floor. Statlander caught off guard. This is not championship material. It is CEO behavior, though. She's got 13 freaking belts now. Statlander carries the defeated Red Velvet to backstage. 13 belts is really impressive, but I like what they do with it at Full Gear. I like what they do with it.
No, I like it too. Again, it's the idea, it's like, oh, you have 13 belts, right? You've beat 30. It doesn't mean you're unbeatable. It doesn't, there's lots of things that it means, and then especially people want to talk about like how Moné is books herself and how much you're creating. Everything is great. Like she's not afraid to bow out when she has to, per se.
Speaking of things that are great, the Farmer's Dog. The Farmer's Dog is a service that delivers gently cooked, freshly made pet food with balanced recipes guided by science and driven by love. Aww. It's human-grade dog food for your family's furriest members. Here's how it works. You build your plan. Simply tell them a little bit about your dog, and they will create a plan with personalized portions to meet their unique nutritional and caloric needs. You'll try it out. You'll get your first box with up to 2 weeks of freshly made food. And if you and your dog love it, you're all set. You'll start receiving boxes of food automatically whenever you're running low. Free and flexible deliveries, nationwide shipping across the U.S., eco-friendly packaging, and around-the-clock customer service are all hallmarks of the Farmer's Dog. Order now through the link in the show description to get 50% off your first box. Remember, if you use our link linktr.ee/seashowpod or click on the link in the description, you're directly supporting the Sea Show. Thanks, and back to the show. Everything is crazy right now, buddy. Everything is crazy. Speaking of crazy, welcome back to the Sea Show. We're talking about Full Gear. Now, a great question your wife brought up was, what does Full Gear reference?
Do we gotta ban you from drinking during these?
I mean, dude, I have a beer and I start getting burpy and I get all yawny.
Not yawny. Is it saying yawny or Johnny? Do you remember that?
Oh my God, no, we're not getting into that.
What color was that goddamn dress, Charlie?
It was white and gold. It was white and gold. Full Gear is a reference to a video featuring Cody Rhodes, who were conflicted about the Young Bucks and Adam Page, and they're like about to go into a diner, and Adam Page is hyping everybody up, and then the camera pulls back, and Adam Page is wearing his full ring gear. And everybody's like, dude, put some pants on at least. Like, we're about to go eat. And then the Bucks and Cody Rhodes go in to eat. And then Hangman is just like putting on jeans awkwardly. It's very good. Very good. Love it. Fantastic. We start off with the Tailgate Brawl, their pre-show. Something really interesting that we're going to talk about. They did something on purpose. They did something on purpose that kind of annoyed us, but it was done on purpose.
We assume. We know now. The first match was why do I have it in my notes here as okay.
Wait,
we know did they confirm they did it on purpose?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I listened to Tony Khan's media scrum.
Oh, he brought that. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so
I'm too smart.
The first match was Max Caster and Anthony Bowens versus the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson versus Big Bill and Brian Keith versus the Outrunners, Truth Magnum, and Turbo Floyd. I was just misreading it. It was because that's the winners that were first. Okay, never mind. We're all good. This was for a 7-minute match. There was a lot going on, but it was pretty quick. I loved the Outrunners with the Marlboro pants. Fantastic. Excellent. Their whole thing is that they're just like, they're riffing on Hulk and Jesse from the 80s. And they're doing they're doing the voice. They're doing all the muscly moves. They've got the haircuts. It's pretty good. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, of course, their internal feud while tag teaming. It's pretty interesting. But again, this feud between Caster and Bowens causes Juice Robinson to roll up Anthony Bowens for the pin 1, 2, 3 and the win, leading Bang Bang Gang to walk away with $200,000 that they are going to wisely invest across various financial executions.
401k go crazy.
401k, a tax-free or a high-risk savings account or a high-yield savings account.
Say high risk. Going to the casino?
My dad's going to kill me. A Roth IRA, mutual bonds, savings bonds. Yeah, they're doing it all. before we get into the next match, Samoa Joe and the Ops Dojo have some words. I stand here all alone, Samoa Joe says, amongst 10 muscular dudes. The Ops Dojo is a representation of men who have been cast aside, men of violence. I walk with a movement and an army behind me who live behind our codes, and he just really starts slapping them around. We have to give our next match 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. Because it's Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall with Aaron Solo, Big Justice, and the Rizzler versus RPG Vice, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta with Don Callis. Now, the fun story is that QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ wrestled together on the indies like 20 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so QT Marshall is the guy bringing in Big Boom AJ and being like, he vouched for AJ. AJ showed up during the media scrum and was like explaining everything, his connection with QT Marshall and how he thought like I was done wrestling, bringing it all back in. There was some really interesting stuff with Big Justice coming in. Big Justice actually pulled off an excellent diamond cutter on, I believe, Trent Beretta, which I really enjoyed. Of course, you've got the Rizzler. QT Marshall with the big Enziguri. What a fun little match. A fun little match.
And I'll give it to AJ.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about him. He's good, man. He's good. He had some really nice moves, some things.
Double chocolate cookie.
Like, again, as someone who, hasn't done a while, thought he was out of the game and all that, he impressed me. Like, people always get bent out of shape. Oh, these, influencer wrestlers, this and like. I literally put in my notes, and I think that's how I put it to Charlie in the time. Like, AJ got a little bag on him.
His bag is surprisingly deep. He's got some stuff in there. It's surprising.
And then other than that, I was just doing the Rizzler emote the whole time, like I was on Fortnite.
The other thing too is the other thing that we noticed is that like Big Boom AJ, if he had been at his prime in like the 40s, he would have been feuding with Lou Thez over the NWA title. Like Gorgeous George and Big Boom AJ would have been fighting over some Northeast title.
Just classic looking wrestler guy.
Like seriously, like the big barrel chest, it's awesome. Of course, after Big Justice hits the Diamond Cutter, Paul White, the Big Show, who was observing the match, loves it. Beretta gets punched by White. A Doomsday Blockbuster by Boom and Doom. Pin 1, 2, 3 to win. Next up, we've got another quick match for Hook and Eddie Kingston versus the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake. I like JD Drake. I'm just a little disappointed with this one. It starts. They go out of the ring before the bell starts. And then it ends with a submission hold by Hook. And, like, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't even finish writing the names down by the time it was over. So I really don't have anything else to add here.
Wikipedia has it at 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Didn't feel that long.
It did not feel that long. Our last match in the Tailgate Brawl, the pre-show, is a trios match for the CMLL World Trios Championship versus El Sky Team, Mystico, Mascara Dorada, and Neon versus the Don Callis family, Kazuchika, Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero. But it's only Takeshita and Hechicero who come out first. Okada's not here. Takeshita and Hechicero are just going to do this on their own. Callis's mic, of course, doesn't work when he joins commentary and communicates to Nigel that travel issues prevent Okada from being there. Now, as Okada pulls up in a McLaren, I believe it's a 720 these days. That's the nice one. Okada slides in after they gain the advantage, and the pay-per-view ends from there. In the post-show media scrum, Tony Khan says that this was deliberate. The idea was you start the match, you bring in Okada, you tease the pay-per-view. My thing is, like, how many new fans are we bringing in with the tailgate brawl? How many new people are on a Saturday afternoon in November are going out of their way channel flipping and finding TNT to watch the tailgate brawl on a Saturday evening in November?
That's not who it's for.
Who's it for?
It's for the people
Yes.
that watch every week.
Yeah.
And whether it's an idea of, I spend $40 on a wrestling show, like I'll look it up or I'll do whatever else, right? It's for the people that are already fans that are either like on the fence or, maybe I'll skip this one. I got the last one.
Gotcha.
Right. So they're just trying to tip 2% more of the fans that are already watching to go and buy the pay-per-view.
Okay.
It's not for the random. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's literally for the people who are already watching the tailgate brawl. Because if you're the kind of sicko, it's like, well, I'm not going to buy the pay-per-view, but I'll see what they have for the first hour.
Yeah, I see. I'm so spoiled from the era of watching the WWE on Peacock where everything is built in. You're not paying extra for the PPVs, the PLEs, excuse me, right?
My whole time growing up, I think we maybe bought one WrestleMania. So I never watched any of the pay-per-views. I got to watch like one or two at a friend's house who were into it and their parents were going to order it. Like, so I was living by it's Monday. Let me look up who won before Raw.
Interesting. Yeah, that was something that Jared mentioned after I think Wrestle Dream. He was just like, yeah, like we didn't get the pay-per-views. Like, yeah, no, I that was not, again, like this is something as somebody who didn't grow up with wrestling. We weren't a, movies on demand family either. That wasn't a thing that happened. But like, yeah, this is kind of it is kind of a, like in the world of streaming, like in our current media environment, I really like a pay-per-view though. I like sitting down, hanging out with you and your wife, getting some food. Like Jared comes over, make some stuff, or we order some stuff and hang out, watch some wrestling. It's like a communal event when we don't have many of those anymore. Like, yes, we do have sports, don't get me wrong, but like we don't have a lot of communal entertainment experiences like a pay-per-view.
Right, but then you say like, oh, like a pay-per-view, it's like we did the same thing when we were talking about Peacock and it was baked in. That, so again, if you want to call it a premium or whatever, right? So is it really the event? The environment leading to the event, right? The importance we actually give the event. All right, welcome to the 8-hour Deeper Than Yourself podcast. Lock in. Mez, turn this up.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to think about there. But again, the pay-per-view starts mid-match, so we move from, and this is another programming note, if you prepay for the pay-per-view, include the first hour on the pay-per-view stream so that we don't have to jump over streams. I've already paid the $40. I'm just saying.
I'll make one more comment about
please.
Okada's entrance because, like, it's literally just how kind of everyone wishes that they could show up. Again, shows up late. There's already people waiting there to give him his jacket and his title.
He was in his ring gear.
He was in gear, but they gave him his jacket and his title, which were already on site.
I don't know if you've ever driven a McLaren in full ring gear, but I don't recommend it.
He gets his full walkout and ring entrance still, like the whole thing. He just walks on down, no rush in the world. Like the only thing that would have made it better if he like showed up like slamming like an iced coffee and then slammed on the ground to grab his stuff. Then he gets in to do a fake handshake with the boys to flop him the bird. Like that's just how everyone wants to show up to work. Yeah, I'm late. Who cares? Here's my stuff. Oh, why am I late? Double bird.
So the Joe Hendry, where he spins around and then it zooms in on his face, that's the reverse Okada because it zooms out and he gives people the bird. Perfect. Now, we learn that after the pay-per-view starts that in a CMLL match, tags aren't necessary in a trios match, and there's a 20 count on the outside. So Mystico has been taken out of the running. He was targeted early, so that it was a more fair 2-on-2 match. But after Okada comes in, it's now 3-on-2 again. Neon and Mascara Dorada have to do this to their disadvantage. But Mystico comes armed, wrapped, is back, hits a Hurricane Rana on Hechicero, my move of the match. and then a double crossbody. But then from the top, another move of the match, Mystico brings Okada down after the rope work. You have a move in the match here before we get to the finale?
The whole thing was great. There was a whole lot of, just like classic lucha, like ring work, jumping around, a lot of different ways to get to like really awesome top rope arm drags.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I want to call out is, I know it's part of the finish, but again, like you saw it building the whole way. There was one time they like teased it into a close call earlier where Okada hits a lariat on Takeshita by accident.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like they teased it once, if not twice before, where it was like, oh, that was close. Oh no. So you knew it was coming and I couldn't wait.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a really interesting dynamic here that begins with the Callis family. Fletcher not being a quote-unquote captain, Okada and Takeshita fighting. I think a really unique storytelling angle in the Callis family there. After that accidental lariat, Dorada does the work. Stereo reverse flip splash on the outside by the luchadors. Mystico with an incredible sequence on Hechicero, Poison Rana, and it's a pin to win. 1, 2, 3. Callis consoles Okada and Takeshita on the ramp. In our first full match here, we've got Darby Allin versus Pac. Straight wrestling. Pac wants no stipulations. The Darby intro starts from hospital. He's in the burn ward, and he destroys a vintage CRT TV. Sad face. That one was good.
It was a good burp. My God, how much of that is left?
Probably like a third.
And so it's been 2/3 of a bevy.
Yeah.
We've had how many burp breaks?
Several. You're going to count them.
You think too highly of me, and I appreciate that. That's why I love you.
My hell yes here are Darby starting with the shotgun drop kick. There's a nasty bounce that Darby takes off the rope, hits his head on the post. Pac gets the shotgun drop kick from the top rope there, and then a 450 corkscrew by Pac.
The only other thing I'll call out before the finish is there's a point where, because Darby Allin is still all kinds of banged up and burned up from blood and guts, so he starts giving, we were talking about as we were watching, what do I call this? We landed on rug burn, like just like rubbing his and like squeezing around his burns. I'm like, that's so disgusting.
No, me
I love it.
Absolutely. As Wheeler Yuta gets called out during the Scorpion Deathlock on Pac, Darby distracts the ref, allowing Pac to grab the bat and attacks Darby while the ref yells at Yuta. Pac gets the pin and win. 1, 2, 3.
He didn't want any stipulations. He's like, when there's no stipulations, you won't be able to beat me. Huh.
Interesting, Darby. Next up, in a four-way tag team match, the Timeless Love Bombs face off against the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, the Sisters of Sin and Julia Hart and Sky Blue, and Megan Bain and Marina Shafir with Penelope Ford. We haven't figured out a name for them yet. Eminem is trademarked, unfortunately. Oh, my goodness. Hell yes. The modified 619 by Shafir on Mina and then pulling her down with the crab lock. Harley Cameron backstabber on Blue. Tony taking it out on Shafir and the problem breaking out with the boxed ears. Tony powerbomb. What do you got?
For me, it was really Tony's hot tag. She hits like the sky high, which is like the sit out choke power bomb combo. Megan Bain hits a double German suplex, which just doesn't even seem, it's not even work for her anymore. It's like, oh yeah, she just does that. So like, let's raise the stakes. Let's get 4 of them in there. Let's get real weird with it. Which is a testament to her. It's like, no, she always just, German suplexes 2 people. That's nothing. And then Willow hit a big pounce. I love the pounce. Just a big old shoulder tackle for the boys.
I saw that shoulder tackle and I was like, I mean, there's probably some high school football coach out there, not Connor, who was like, especially at Willow's high school, that was, damn, I wish I could have put pads on her.
Would have gone to state.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But speaking of which, Mina goes flying and takes out the competition. Harley Cameron and Tony Storm trade pins, and Tony rolls up Cameron to pin to win. 1, 2, 3. The Timeless Love Bombs now get to choose a stipulation for their semifinal match in the inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament. Will we see a Cinema Verite match? Will we see a chicken coop match? Will we see... What is a chicken coop match? Is it just inside a chicken coop? They build a chicken coop?
I imagine, like, I've never watched a chicken coop match. Like, I've seen other ones, but, like, usually keep it pretty as close to the name as possible. People are stupid. That's what you got. Like, you got to remember, if people hear this, will they know what's going on?
Yeah. That's fair.
Tables, ladders, and chairs. There will be tables, ladders, and chairs. Hell in a cell. Big cell, bad stuff, hell.
And one of my favorite Instagram accounts, Queen of the Ring, she'll even comment and be like, people will chant, we want tables at a tables, ladders, and chairs match. What do you think the T is for? What do you think the T is for?
Table now. Daddy, table now.
Give me table. Table now. A Big Stoke production. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Brodito, Bandito, and Brody King, who are the champions, face FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood with Stokely. I want to get a hat that just says hat. I can't remember what that was about, but I remember there was just something that said, it was like shirt that said shirt or something on it.
Maybe it was pants that said pants. I don't remember. I remember this. Again, you give me too much credit for existing, remembering all those things. Kegerator was flowing.
Oh, buddy, I remember. What are your moves of the match?
Oh my God, there were so many good. We're already going. So I like they did some classic tag team, gimmicks, whatever, where it's like a tag, but the ref didn't see, so I got to keep beating up on Bandito. Like, basically, Bandito just got beat down this whole match, and just was like, I'll just kick out of that. Like, he takes their Power and the Glory powerbomb combo, a Shatter Machine, and kicks out at 2. Then he gets a little bit and does like the Blockbuster for a 2. Takes a Spike Pile Driver, like just Bandito just guys being dudes. Bandito being that
dudes being guys.
Dude was my move of the match.
Bandito slamming Brody on top of Dax Harwood. Brody King slamming Cash into Dax in the corner. No one home when Brody slams into the barricade against Cash Wheeler. A phenomenal match, but an unfortunate end here. After Bandito almost gets the accidental pin after the splash by Cash. Brody trying to put Dax to sleep. Cash steps in. There have been so many kickouts at 2.99. Bandito gives FTR the Philly salute, the double bird, but FTR hit him with the Shatter Machine for the win. 1, 2, 3.
There were so many times, like, and again, me and my wife always kind of tease each other, where it's like these false finishes, like, oh, you bit, you thought the match was over, you bit, you fell for it, you idiot, and like, I bit 3 different times. I'm like, Bandito's dead. I'm like, this is literally the thing from The Simpsons where it's like, stop, he's already dead. He's already dead. But he kicked out until the goddamn end.
Brutal. Well deserved for FTR, I think. They've been chomping at the bit for this one for a minute, and every match they have is a stunner. So it's well deserved. This heel title run is going to be legendary, especially with Big Stoke on the mic, and all of the challenges they face. Next up, in a Casino Gauntlet match for the inaugural AEW National Championship, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin start first. But do they even try? No.
They hurt people. They don't hurt each other.
That's right. They don't hurt each other because they're friends.
Friends, not food.
Friends, not food. Yeah, so Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin for like a minute and a half. Like, MVP is walking around the ring, like taunting people, talking with the fans. It's not until Ricochet gets on the mic so that the Gates of Agony can beat up on Benjamin and Lashley. Ricochet attacks MVP with the mic. And then while this is all going down, Claudio Castagnoli comes out and just tosses Ricochet out. Press slam back into the ring. Ricochet is just limp.
Right, he catches him with a huge airplane spin after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Daniel Garcia on deck.
Daniel Garcia. Orange Cassidy comes out, and then we have another Death Rider.
No, hold on. When Orange Cassidy comes out,
Yeah.
he smacks Ricochet right on the top of his bald ass head, and I loved it.
I didn't see that. Oh my goodness.
No, because he smacks Ricochet's head and then hits a Stun Dog Billionaire before our next Death Rider arrives at the party.
I didn't even catch which Death Rider it was.
It was Yuta.
Oh, fuck Yuta. Cassidy tries to get the pin on Ricochet to end this really quickly, but Ricochet kicks out. Kevin Knight comes out swinging, slamming Yuta and dealing with Garcia off the apron.
Huge jumping clothesline from 3/4 of the way down the apron to ringside, just diving clothesline and crushes him.
Now to deal with Claudio. Strong standing ground against Knight and Claudio. Backbreaker on Ricochet. Mark Davis comes in. Davis has some real strong shots, but not much. Speedball comes in. Speedball and Kevin trade pins. Garcia comes in for the sharpshooter. Bailey holding out. Wow. Matt Menard comes out. Now, Matt Menard and Daniel Garcia were sort of working together. Garcia was sort of being mentored by Daddy Magic until Daniel Garcia broke and joined the Death Riders earlier in September. Garcia and Menard face off.
Well, and one of the things that we missed, we had to go through everything, right? Menard was on commentary, and then Garcia took him out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say we were rushing through that, so I didn't get to mention that. But yeah, there's bad blood. Ben building, continue building, and it's just about boiling.
Yep, because they roll out of the rings and run into the crowd. Matt Menard wants his vengeance. I don't think we see Daniel Garcia after that.
We do not. We don't see either of them.
Oh, fantastic. So we'll probably pick that up after Dynamite on Wednesday. Lashley just tosses Speedball into the air, catches OC's crossbody, and then just power slams him. Ricochet comes back in. He should not have. Orange Punch for Claudio and Davis. Kevin Knight breaks up the pin by Yuta on Cassidy, but Ricochet hits the Spirit Gun on Kevin Knight. Pin to win. 1, 2, 3. It's Ricochet. He's the first national champion. No way. Even Lydia thinks it's funny. Next up, in a no holds barred match, we've got Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. Jon Moxley pulling out the fork.
My first note was Moxley has a fork.
Moxley, in the immortal words of Brian Coangelo, find a new angle.
Dude, and like Mox even was so like stabs his head crazy style, rakes it across his back and side, sticks it in his nose and mouth, and then bites some of the cuts.
I love Rick Knox, the ref, just going, what am I going to do? And then just puts on the black gloves.
But I thought it was good because, again, like it was a great mix of like the violence like that and then like good technical stuff. Like the whole comeback from that was Kyle shooting like a classic like amateur wrestling low single to get into the ankle lock and start all of that. Then back and forth of Mox also uses the fork on his nip.
Yes.
I don't know how deep we want to say that.
The nipple.
I assume nip is, we'll go as far as nipple and we'll move on.
Yeah, the fork titty twister.
Nipple. And then he starts going to work on Mox's leg again, kind of setting up for this long-term finish here.
Mm-hmm. Again, the ankle lock by Kyle O'Reilly. Mox tries to go for the ropes, and Kyle O'Reilly pulls him back with a chain that he got from under the mat around Mox's ankle. Kyle O'Reilly gets the tap from Mox. You tapped out. You tapped out. You tapped out. The chant echoes from the roof of the Prudential Center. A sore loser, Mox attacks Kyle O'Reilly again. Where are the conglomeration? Where are the Death Riders? Oh, there are the Riders. Next up, in a no disqualification match for the AEW TNT Championship, we've got Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis versus Mark Briscoe. In the 9th defense of Fletcher's TNT Championship. He faces off for Mark Briscoe for the 6th time. My hell yeahs here include the mouthful of tacks for Briscoe, and then the super kick by Fletcher. Fletcher almost powerbombing Briscoe, but he reverses for the vertical suplex, and then the Pro Star is screaming as he lands on the tacks. Briscoe neckbreaker on the chairs that Fletcher had already set up. Off the ladder, Briscoe slams Fletcher through the table. Froggy blow. It was like a 7-foot drop.
Yeah, you hit most of the good stuff here. My one note is Briscoe has killed a few ladders already.
Mm-hmm.
He was putting them to work.
Oh, yes.
For me, it's when Fletcher grabs that little secret screwdriver.
Mm-hmm. And then Briscoe stabs the screwdriver into the turnbuckle. Fletcher pushes the referee and then pushes the sharp end of the screwdriver up, but the screwdriver ends up falling out and the action goes back to the ring as Briscoe kicks out of the brainbuster. Briscoe T-bones, sending Fletcher through the gimmick table, Jay Driller onto the tacks. Pin to win. Briscoe wins 1-2-3. A new TNT champion, Mark Briscoe. Afterwards, Orange Cassidy presented Mark Briscoe with a new version of the TNT Championship belt, which now has a snow camo pattern similar to the pants that Briscoe wears inside the ring.
You know, Kyle Fletcher ties the record for most title defenses. We can't get a pink strap on that, but they don't even leave the fans aren't out of the parking lot yet, and we got a Briscoe custom.
You gotta win to earn it, you know. Next up, in the $1 million trios match, we've got Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express, Jungle Jack Perry and Luchasaurus versus the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson and Josh Alexander. There was a lot going on here. Omega is limping early, took a bad hit on the ankle. Risky business by the Bucks on Perry. Luchasaurus dumping a Buck and Alexander to the outside of the ring. Countdown to extinction. And then the finale. But do you have anything?
Luchasaurus hit a standing moonsault.
Yes.
Like an absolute maniac. And then Josh Alexander had a really nice spinning backbreaker, like around the world backbreaker, whatever you want to call it. But Luchasaurus did a standing moonsault.
Yeah. Luchasaurus standing moonsault, incredible. But after the BTE trigger by the Bucks, the pin, 1-2-3, the Bucks get their money, but at what cost? They're now members of the Don Callis family. Alexander continues to attack the leg of Omega. Callis and the Bucks are nonplussed. Callis, Kenny's an idiot, so they're just gonna break his ankles. Let's go spend the money. The Bucks reject the cash, run to save Omega, break it up, shake hands with Jurassic Express. The real treasure was the friends we made along the way. An opportunity for the Bucks to make good. They put out their hands, the power of friendship. Omega slaps their hands away, but they hug instead.
Brothers don't shake hands.
Aww.
Brothers hug!
Next up, in our penultimate match for the evening, a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. Listen, straight up, first off, nobody home for the 450 splash by Statlander.
First off, Statlander comes out of a spaceship for her entrance, and it was sick.
She does come out of the spaceship. Nobody's home for the 450 splash by Statlander. Fujiwara armbar by Mercedes. Stat, devastating counter to the frog splash. Up kick right to the jaw. And then Stat struggling with the Blue Thunder bomb into a pin. Will she be able to get it? Stat countering the discus lariat, putting Moné down with the lateral press, but Moné countering with her own arm lock, and Stat has Moné in the crossface, but Moné gets out by bending the wrist, goes for the arm, in the thigh lock again.
So Mercedes starts doing the three. Oh God, the three amigos, awesome.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't stop at 3.
Does it?
Or 4, or 5, or
6.
6, 7. Does 14 suplexes, and they're like for one for each of her championships. And I just thought that was cool. And to just think of doing anything 14 times sounds like it sucks.
Yeah.
Might as well picking up another human being. So God bless her. That was awesome.
It was pretty rad. It was very rad. But unfortunately, it's not enough. Statlander rolls through the submission hold, crawls up with Monet onto the top rope, rib breaker off the top rope. Monet kicks out of the seatbelt, package pile driver by Statlander, and it's not enough. Mercedes turning around, Hurricane Rana, incredible sequence at the end here. Statlander, Saturday Night Fever, pin to win. 1, 2, 3. Statlander retains against Monet.
I did love that finish because Statlander set her up. So Saturday Night Fever is basically like a tombstone pile driver. Okay. And they did the spot where they basically do like she picked up Monet and then they kind of fell backwards. Then Monet had her in that position. Then they kind of tipped backwards and then Statlander was back on top. They did that flip position a whole lot, which is always, again, I'll always say, I'm sure Suckenberg are like impressive as hell, but it was a super nice sequence to end with.
What I loved about this is that the theme is focus, right? And while Mercedes can go around and pick up all of these belts, she can't get the one that matters. She can pick up the Winnipeg Pro Championship Wrestling one. She can pick up a couple of Ring of Honor titles. She can pick up, another indie title in Poland or whatever. But at the end of the day, the main goal is the AEW Women's title. And Monet doesn't have that yet. So what do her 13 titles mean if she's not able to get the big one, I really love that storyline for Mercedes. I love Statlander retaining. Statlander becomes, I believe, the only woman in AEW to pin both Monet and Toni Storm. To first of all, to win the title and then to retain the title. So again, shout out to her. An incredible performance by Chris Statlander on the mic, in the ring, on commentary. Long live Chris Statlander. Long may she reign. Next up, in our final match of the evening, starting at around midnight, a steel cage match for the AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. Connor turns to me and goes, "How long do you think this is going to go?" I go, 40 minutes. Nah.
I knew it. I didn't have it in the tank. I'm like, there's no way they have it in the tank.
This was phenomenal. Neutron and music for Hangman. The song was American Venom from Red Dead Redemption 2. I need to play that so bad.
Oh, it's so good.
I know. Joe immediately goes for Hangman's ribs and then later gets busted open. If I was going to be doing anything, I would be going for Samoa Joe's knees. But this is going to be an all-timer. Joe with the power slam. Adam ends up biting Joe in the corner, takes out a chunk of his forehead. Hangman with the dead eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Paul Turner was knocked out in the confusion, knocked out by Shibata, grabbing the title and entering the cage. Although Eddie Kingston and Hook come, Powerhouse Hobbs is at the door, rips off the chain, opens the cage. Hobbs has the title and Hangman attacks. A low blow by Hangman on Hobbs, but Joe attacks from behind. Another buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again. Not again. Hook comes in to wake up the ref, but Hook grabs the title and attacks Hangman, taking off the orange Averex jacket. No, Hook was undercover the whole time. Joe Musclebuster on the belt. 1, 2, 3. Joe and the Ops steal the title with Hook. We thought he was out, but they pulled him back in. Was Eddie in on it? Was it a ruse? The dojo streams in. The lights went out. The music cut out. Who is it? It's Swerve. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Prince Nana intros. Whose house? Swerve's house. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve walks up to the ring. Joe parts the Ops dojo and presents Hangman. Swerve attacks the jobbers, and they swarm. Swerve fights out while the Ops retreat to the locker room. Whose house? Swerve's house. The jobber eats a kick. Hangman strikes back. Hobbs and the Ops taunt Hangman as they retreat. I like this. Let Tony Khan cook.
Yeah, great time for a comeback. People are always like, "Oh, I can't believe it was a 130-day title reign. Like that's really good." Like the idea that somebody needs to hold on to a title for years is crazy. I thought it was a great reign from Hangman. I thought it was great matches. This leaves potential for so much still. Again, of how it wasn't clean, gives more development into Hook. Like this was fantastic.
And because we were like so disappointed at how Hook was kind of languishing around the promotion, and it's like he's getting all of these squash matches, but now he's back with the Ops, and the Ops are now truly dangerous. The thing that I really like about this is a classic trope from cowboy western cinema, is having the cowboy partner up with a former villain, right? His former antagonist. So really excited to see how Hangman and Swerve play off of each other. Again, let Tony Khan cook here.
So you're telling me maybe this town is big enough for the two of us?
Here on The C Show. Welcome back to the C Show. We've got one quick last bit of news here on the C Show. The Monster Factory is officially closing. I was reading on Missy Sampson's Instagram account. She linked to Lineage Pro Wrestling. Monster Factory had their last show on the 22nd of November at the 2300 Arena. What is taking its place will be called Lineage Pro Wrestling. There's not a lot of information out there right now. Lineage Pro Wrestling on Instagram. Check them out. Missy, as far as we know, is involved. Is this the future of Bell to Bell? It is definitely the future of local wrestling in Philadelphia. So stay tuned. We'll have more about that here on The C Show. Of course you like The C Show. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with your friends. Support the show directly at ko-fi.com/cshowpod. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube at C Show Pod. Have a question for the boys? Send an email, cshowpod@gmail.com. Thanks to our friends Amir, Patrick, and Justin for their assistance. The C Show is a production of 832 Media. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Unacceptable.